Here's how to add your own controller to an MVC application. So first right-click on controllers and then choose add and then choose controller. And then select MVC5 controller empty and click the add button and then name your controller. I'm going to name it store controller and make sure that the ending is controller. And then click add. And now I have commented out this default method that was here. It was an index method and I changed it to return a string instead of an action result. And I just put the string here and then I created a browse method and a details method and a crysTest method and just return the string. Now this index method will be, because we called this a store controller, that will be when you do the URL plus store, so that gets the index method is called. And then when you go to store/browse, because this is the store controller, it'll be store/browse in the URL, store/browse. That will call the browse method. And same thing with details and crysTest. You can change this to details, and it'll call the details method. And you can change this to crysTest, and it will call the crysTest method. And then if I put something in here that I don't have a method for, let's see what happens. Okay, there's an error in the application. Note that this store controller inherits from controller, and this mapping from the function in the store controller to the URL store controller, and then the URL is store/crysTest, which maps to the crysTest method. This is called routing. And now if we want the browse page to take in a query string, we can go browse genre equals disco. And to get the value of genre, we add a parameter to browse string genre, and then we can here just return. This is just returning a string that prints out the genre, and here we're just sanitizing the query string value that was returned, and this should print out disco. So we'll build this. And then refresh this page. And it's correct. It is correctly getting the value from the query string and printing it out as disco. Now, if we want to use a vanity URL, let's go to details, and let's say we want to pass in 5. 5 will be the ID of the product that we're going to look at. So we want to have it look nice, so we don't want to have query string something equals 5, so we just do it like this. And then in the details method, we have to name it ID. It has to be ID. So it has to be named ID, and then here we're going to just return a string with printing out the value of the ID, and we don't need to sanitize it this time. So now we're going to build. And we will refresh this. It should display 5 as the value. And there it is.